If you're watching this while your chest feels tight, if the bills are stacking, the doors feel locked, and every plan you make seems to collapse at the last moment, this is not an accident. Some doors don't open with effort. They open with obedience. Right now, somewhere on this earth, there is a young father who lost his income overnight. War erased his routine, his security, his plans. He did not have connections. He did not have savings. What he had was one surah he refused to abandon, even when hope felt unreasonable. He read it when nothing moved. He read it when answers were silent. And then, not dramatically, not magically, help arrived from a direction he never imagined. Not because he was special, but because Allah is consistent. Allah says, and listen carefully, and whoever is mindful of Allah, He will make for him a way out and provide for him from where he does not expect. This promise was not revealed for perfect people. It was revealed for people under pressure. If you are facing debt, anxiety, blocked doors, or unanswered du'as, pause here. Because what you're about to hear is not about chasing wealth. It's about aligning yourself with a system that never collapses. Do not skip this surah today. Delay is the only loss. You don't need to believe perfectly. You just need to show up. Comment, I will read it today. Let others know they are not standing alone. And let this be your first step back to unseen provision. Before we begin, please like the video, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss anything. Share this video with your loved ones, because this knowledge can literally change your life. Now let me tell you the name of the surah. It is Surah Al-Waqi'ah. Many people talk about this surah only in whispers, as if it's just about money. But that is not what Allah revealed it for. Surah Al-Waqi'ah is not about chasing wealth. It is about placing your heart in the right category. Allah divides humanity into three groups in this surah: the people of the right, the people of the left, and those brought near to Him. Before Allah talks about provision, He talks about position. Because Rizq does not come from effort alone. It follows alignment. Today, people work harder than ever before. Longer hours, more stress, more exhaustion, and yet many feel poorer inside, even when their income increases. Something is missing, and Surah Al-Waqi'ah answers what that is. This surah reminds you that the world you're chasing is temporary, unstable, and already counted. And when that truth settles in your heart, Allah opens doors you were never meant to force. Right now, across the world, there are people who have lost everything except their faith, homes, jobs, safety. And yet, you will hear them say something powerful. Allah did not abandon us. Their provision didn't always come as money. Sometimes it came as food, sometimes as protection, sometimes as peace, when panic should have consumed them. That is the kind of unseen wealth Surah Al-Waqi'ah awakens. The surah doesn't promise luxury, it promises clarity, and clarity changes everything. Read Surah Al-Waqi'ah not to get rich, but to be placed correctly. Have you ever read Surah Al-Waqi'ah consistently before? Comment yes or not yet, and be honest. To understand unseen provision, we have to return to a moment in the Qur'an that still shakes the heart. Maryam, peace be upon her, was alone. No income, no protector, no explanation she could offer the world. And yet, whenever Zachariah entered her place of worship, he found provision waiting for her. Food, sustenance, support. He asked her a simple question. Where did this come from? Her answer was not complicated. She didn't say she planned it. She didn't say she earned it. She said, it is from Allah. That moment in the Qur'an teaches us something dangerous to the ego. Provision appears where control is surrendered. Maryam did not chase. She did not panic. She stood firm in obedience, and Allah handled what she could not. Right now, in our time, this story is repeating itself in quieter ways. A woman displaced by conflict, living with uncertainty, still praying on time. A family with no clear future, yet refusing to abandon their salah. And then, assistance arrives. Aid appears. A stranger helps. A door opens that wasn't even visible before. Not because they were promised ease, but because Allah is Ar-Razzaq, even in hardship. Unseen provision doesn't always look like extra money. Sometimes it's stability, when everything should fall apart. Sometimes it's a relief when anxiety should crush you. Maryam teaches us that Rizq flows to hearts that remain upright, not frantic. If Allah provided for her in isolation, He is not unaware of you. Comment, Allah is Al-Razzaq. If you believe that what is written for you cannot miss you, and what misses you was never meant to arrive. At this point, some people feel inspired, and then they stop, not because they don't believe, but because they wait to feel ready. Faith doesn't grow by waiting, it grows by showing up. So here is a simple test, not a ritual, not a superstition, just consistency. For the next 3 days, read Surah Al-Waqi'ah once a day. That's it. No bargaining with Allah, no countdown for results, just obedience with presence. Why 3 days? Because the heart resists change before it accepts it. The first day, you read while distracted. The second day, you notice the words. By the third day, something shifts. Not always outside of you, but within you. And when the inside aligns, the outside often follows. Right now, students overwhelmed by exams, parents under pressure, people unsure how they'll make it through the month. Many of them are not waiting for miracles anymore. They're building trust through repetition. And with that trust comes calm. With calm comes clarity. And clarity changes decisions. Sometimes the miracle is not that money appears. It's that you stop making choices from fear. That alone can save you. Don't wait until belief feels strong. Let obedience create belief. Read it tired. Read it worried. Read it even when nothing seems to move. Because seeds break underground before anything appears above. Comment 3 days if you're committing to read Surah Al-Waqi'ah for the next 3 days. And let Allah handle what you cannot. If you think provision only comes to those who start with advantages, the Qur'an corrects that illusion. Look at Abdul Rahman ibn Auf radiyallahu anhu. He migrated to Medina with nothing, no property, no wealth, no safety net. When he arrived, he was offered half of someone else's wealth, an offer many would have accepted without hesitation. But he refused. He didn't reject help out of pride. He rejected dependence on shortcuts. Instead, he said something simple. Show me the market. What followed was not instant luxury. It was integrity, consistency, and trust in Allah. And over time, Allah placed so much barakah in his trade that his wealth became a tool for good, supporting the community, funding causes, easing the hardship of others. The lesson here is not work hard and you'll get rich. The lesson is principles attract provision. Today, This story repeats itself quietly. People refusing haram income even when desperate. Business owners choosing honesty over a quick profit. Workers walking away from what feels wrong, trusting that Allah sees what they sacrificed. And often, not always immediately, but reliably, Allah replaces what they left with something better. Because wealth that costs your soul is not rizq. And rizq that carries barakah doesn't scream, it lasts. Surah Al-Waqi'ah reminds us, provision is not just how much you receive, but what it does to you when it arrives. Choose the path that keeps your heart intact. Allah handles the rest. Comment Barakah over numbers. If you believe that what is halal may feel slower, but it never collapses. At this point, someone is listening and thinking, I've been praying. I've been trying. So why hasn't anything changed? That question doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. Even the believers in the Qur'an reached moments where their hearts felt heavy. The difference was not that they never doubted, it's that they never walked away. Allah reminds us gently, indeed with hardship comes ease, not after, with. Meaning, while pressure is present, relief is already being prepared, even if you can't see it yet. Some doors don't open because they are locked. Some don't open because they are protecting you. Right now, there are people who look back and realize the delay saved them from something worse. The job they didn't get, the deal that collapsed, the path that seemed perfect, until it revealed its cost later. Sometimes Allah withholds not to punish, but to preserve. There are stories happening right now of people who thought Allah ignored them, until one phone call, one message, one shift in circumstances changed everything, and they realized the timing wasn't cruel, it was precise. If your chest feels heavy tonight, hear this clearly. Delayed does not mean denied. Silence does not mean abandonment. Allah is not rushing because He is not late. Stay consistent, even when emotions fluctuate, especially when emotions fluctuate. If you're struggling quietly, comment, make dua for me. Not because you owe anyone an explanation, but because no believer was meant to carry weight alone. Now let's talk about how to read this surah. Because how you approach the Qur'an matters as much as what you read. If you can make wudu, do it. Not because Allah won't listen otherwise, but because you are preparing yourself to listen. Sit where you won't be rushed. Put the phone down. Let this moment be undivided. Before you begin, make one intention. Not a list. Not a list, not a negotiation. Just one clear intention in your heart. Ya Allah, I am reading to draw closer to you. That's it. Read Surah Al-Waqi'ah slowly. You don't need a beautiful voice. You don't need perfection. You need presence. Let the verses remind you who controls outcomes and who never needed your panic. Do not read it like a transaction. Do not say, I'll read if you give. Allah is not a merchant. He is Ar-Rahman. Sometimes the rizq that comes from this surah is not money. Sometimes it's a calm decision, a protected choice, an idea that saves you from regret, or peace in a moment that should have broken you. That is also provision. Read it like a servant standing at the door, not demanding entry, but trusting the one inside. When your heart softens, your life follows. You are not reading to force change. You are reading to align with it. Comment, I will read with presence. If you're committing to read Surah Al-Waqi'ah with sincerity, not speed, not fear, but trust. Look around the world right now. Prices are rising. Jobs feel uncertain. Systems people trusted for decades are shaking. Entire families are being displaced. Entire economies feel fragile. And for many, the fear is not about luxury anymore. It's about survival. But here is what Surah Al-Waqi'ah quietly teaches us. The instability you see is not chaos. It is exposure. Allah reminds us in the Qur'an that no hardship strikes except by His permission. And that truth is not meant to scare you. It's meant to anchor you. Because if Allah allowed it, then Allah is also managing it. Human systems rise and fall. Markets crash. Borders close. But the system of Allah has never failed. Not during famine, not during war, not during collapse. Right now, there are people living through inflation who still share food. Families under occupation who still thank Allah. Individuals with nothing predictable except prayer, and yet their hearts remain firm. That is not ignorance. That is tawakkul. Surah Al-Waqi'ah pulls your attention away from what looks powerful and reminds you what actually is. When the illusion of control fades, reliance becomes real. And when reliance becomes real, fear loosens its grip. This is why, in times like these, returning to the Qur'an is not retreat. It is clarity. When systems collapse, tawakkul rises. And those anchored to Allah are never without provision, even when the world feels unstable. Where are you watching this from? Comment your country. And let this space become a reminder that the Ummah is connected, even in uncertainty. Before you leave this moment, understand something important. Not every miracle announces itself loudly. Some arrive quietly. A sense of relief where anxiety used to live. A conversation that softens a hard decision. A delay that later reveals protection. These are not coincidences. They are signs often ignored because we're trained to only recognize dramatic change. If you commit to reading Surah Al-Waqi'ah, don't rush to judge the outcome. Pay attention instead. Notice what shifts in your thoughts. Notice what choices suddenly feel clearer. Notice what no longer drains you the way it used to. Right now, across the world, people are experiencing small but meaningful changes after returning to consistency with the Qur'an. Not because they unlocked a secret, but because they stopped neglecting what was always powerful. And your story matters too. Someone else might be standing where you were a few days ago. Discouraged, overwhelmed, unsure if anything makes a difference. Your experience, even if it feels ordinary, could be the reassurance they need to keep going. So don't keep it to yourself. Come back. Reflect. Share what changed, even if it's something you almost overlooked. Especially if it's something you almost overlooked. Because sometimes Allah uses your quiet improvement to strengthen someone else's faith. When you notice a change, return and comment what shifted. Not to prove anything, but to remind others that Allah's help doesn't always arrive wrapped in noise. Before you go, let's end this with a sincere dua. Not a long one, but a real one. Ya Allah, you are Al-Waqi'ah, the inevitable. You are Al-Razzaq, the provider. You know what I need before I speak it. Open the doors I cannot open. Provide from places I cannot imagine. Replace my fear with trust. Replace my anxiety with peace. And guide my steps to what is good for me. Ameen. Now, I want to say something important. This video is not a promise of instant wealth. It is a reminder of a system that never fails. It is a call to return to the Qur'an, the source of true guidance. And if you know someone who is struggling right now, someone whose heart is heavy and whose mind is overwhelmed, share this with them. Because your share could be the first step in their miracle. Your small action can become someone else's salvation.
And one final thing. If you are watching this and you have not yet read Surah Al-Waqi'ah today, do it now. No delay, no hesitation, because today is the only day guaranteed to you. Comment sent. If you shared this video with one person who needs hope, and comment, Ameen, if you want Allah to increase your provision and peace.